In today's video, I'm going to show you 5 ways to send notifications using Home Assistant. Check it out. What's going on, guys? I hope you're all doing well. So the methods for sending out notifications that we're going to have a look at today are email, the Amazon Echo, Telegram, push, and persistent. So we'll have a look at how all these notifications can be set up and sent out using Home Assistant. And as always, this video will be chaptered, so if you want to jump to a specific one, there'll be a link in the description, so just feel free to jump to whichever section you want. Hey, Mark from the future here. Sorry to interrupt your video. I thought I'd just jump in and give you guys a heads up. So this video was recorded a few weeks ago, but due to some technical issues on my side, the footage got corrupted and I've not been able to use parts of it. The actual original video was also recorded in multiple parts, so you will see some swish outfit changes throughout the video, so I hope that's not too off-putting. I've tried to splice the video together as best I can and I've reshot the end parts, so hopefully it flows well and you guys still enjoy it. Time is super precious to me and losing this footage is super gutting, but it's one of those things. I'm constantly trying to improve and always striving to just get better and better. Enough blabbing from me, let's go back in time and carry on your video. And if you do stick around till the end of this video and you press that subscribe button, I've got a little bonus for you. So originally I only recorded DevTools demos for this video, but I've actually recorded some extra automations to show you guys how to use those. So be sure to stick around till the end for those. So I'm going to show you how to set up each of the notification types and also give you a quick demo on how to use each one. Let's get straight into it, and we're going to start with a nice simple one. We're going to start with persistent notifications. Persistent notifications, what are they? You've probably seen persistent notifications in your sidebar looking something like this, and it'll be the little icon that tells you you've got a notification, and when you click that it will expand in your sidebar and it will tell you the description of the notification. We're here on our demo dashboard, and on the left we can see we've got a little notification icon to tell us that we've got a notification. So this notification is one of the persistent notifications. So if we just click on that, we can see we've got an important message here. Now with this notification, it will stay there and it will stay highlighted until we actually go in and dismiss that, which is where the persistent name comes from. So it's persistent. Also, if you wish to close this browser instant or go to another device, that will still show there as like an unread notification. Another cool thing that this notification does is it shows you the time that the notification was created, so you can see how long ago that happened. So if we expand our example here, we can see that this notification appeared 2 minutes ago, so the event that fired it off happened 2 minutes ago. This could be useful if you wanted to send a notification when a device is unreachable for a set period of time. You could then see how long ago that happened just by quickly glancing at this. And to get rid of that notification, we just click dismiss here. Let's have a look at the setup for this notification. For this, we're going to be using the developer tools. So navigate to developer tools on the sidebar on the left here. Once we've opened that up, on the top bar, you'll see an option for services. So just click on services. And with services, there's a drop down menu here, and we're going to just click in there and we're going to start typing persistent. Once you do that, you'll see a few options pop up, and we want to choose persistent notification create. Okay, once we've selected that, we can see that there's a bit of data underneath here. Now this is all example data, and we can see from the example data there's 3 parameters that the notification create uses. So we can see it's got a message, a title, and a notification ID. So let's just click fill example data here, just so that we've got this as our example. Once we've got that example data filled in, we can choose call service. That will then fire off that persistent notification. And if you look on the bottom left here now, we've got an icon to tell us that there's a new notification. If we just expand that, we can see it's the example data that we've just fired off. So it's got a title, a message, and it's also got the time when that happened. If you hover over the time, it'll also give you a tooltip, giving you a breakdown of the actual time and date. Let's just dismiss this notification by hitting dismiss. Now, I'm quickly going to just show you the notification ID and what that does. So for this, I'll just call this test notification 1, and we're going to just click call service. So now this notification here, notification 1, has an ID of 1234. If we change this ID to just be 123 and we call this notification 2 and hit call service, we can see now that we have two notifications, test notification 1 and test notification 2. If we click call service again, we've still only got two notifications, and what's happened here is we've sent another notification with the same ID, so because there's already a notification there with that ID, it just overwrites it. If we look here, test notification 2 was created 3 seconds ago. If we click call service and then go back to it, that's now updated. If we send a notification with an ID that's already present in the sidebar, what happens if we send a notification without an ID? Let's do that now. We're going to take off the notification ID here, and we'll just change the message. We'll call that this notification has no ID, and we'll call this test notification 3. Let's hit call service. We can see now we've got 3 notifications, 1, 2, and 3. So what's happened here? Well, Home Assistant, because we haven't given test notification 3 an ID, Home Assistant has randomly assigned this notification an ID. If we was to click this again, we can see we've now got 4 notifications, and there's now 2 test 3 notifications. So because Home Assistant's randomly assigned these 2 notifications IDs, both IDs are different, which is why they both appear separately. And that's 2 ways of using persistent notifications, with an ID and without an ID. With an ID, Home Assistant will only have 1 notification, and that notification will be whatever the most up-to-date call of that notification was. Without an ID, Home Assistant will randomly assign an ID, and you'll have a notification for each and every time that that service is used. I think that will make sense. So you can make use of that service call in your automations and scripts to enable Home Assistant to create these persistent notifications, and you'll see them in the bottom left corner on any of the devices you're using in your Home Assistant. One last thing to point out with this as well is that the title is also an optional parameter. If you don't give a title, the notification looks something like this, so it's just text. Up next, we have push notifications.
A few moments later.
Moving on to push notifications then. So these notifications are the ones that you'll receive on a mobile device, so your phone or tablet, and usually they're the ones that appear in like the little bubble at the top, so they'll just pop up and you'll have your message title and notification message. In order to follow along with this bit, you'll need to have the Home Assistant app installed on your iOS or Android device. There'll be a link for the app download if you haven't got it in the description below. A really cool thing about signing into the app on your iOS or Android device is that you get access to the sensors on the device. So with an iPhone, you get access to a few of the sensors, just it's a bit more locked down. But with Android, you get access to a whole bunch of sensors, and you can make use of these sensors in automations. So for example, one of the sensors you get access to is the battery life of the device. You could then set up an automation to send you a notification to say, hey, the battery life is below this threshold, stick it on charge. And all these sensors and information is all an optional thing, so you don't have to include them in Home Assistant, and you can toggle on and off each one. Another really cool thing it can do, which we're not going to have a look at in this video, is actionable notifications. So when you send these notifications, you can include extra information, things like buttons. You could say, send a notification to say you've left the lights on, do you want to turn them off? And you could have a button to say yes or a button to say no, and then when you get that notification pop up, you actually also get the buttons and you can choose yes or no, and then obviously whichever one you choose will trigger that automation. But those are actionable notifications. I just thought I'd give you a heads up about those if you want to go and check those out. I may do a video on this in the future, but we're just going to look specifically at the push notifications, and that will just be sending a text notification to the device. Just to reiterate, you do need the Home Assistant app installed, so if you've got that installed already, you should be good to go now. We're also going to be making use of the developer tools again, so you want to navigate to developer tools and then services again. In the service drop down, if you start typing notify.mobile, you should see your device appear in the list. By default, Home Assistant tags mobile devices with the mobile_app. Once you've found your device in the list, we're going to add some service data. Again, we're going to add a title and a message, and this will be the title and message for the notification that we send. I've already filled mine in here, so once you've done that, just hit the call service, and we should see on the iPhone a notification appear. Now, this notification is just a standard text notification, so it is just a message just to tell the user something. If your device is locked, you'll also see this notification on your lock screen. And that's basically it for a quick look at push notifications. So we used an iPhone in this example, but you can also do the same thing with Android and it works the exact same. The next level up from this is the advanced notifications, which I quickly touched on, and that would allow you to respond to the notification that comes in. So you could have some extra information in that and obviously respond to it. Okay, next up, I've got a special bonus notification for you. So for this one, you're going to need to head over to my YouTube page, and conveniently for you, you're already there. So just below, if you press that subscribe button and then press the little bell icon, you'll get a notification then for whenever I release a new video. And that's a cool little notification to keep you up to date with what I'm doing. Next up is email notifications, and what this one's going to allow us to do is, you guessed it, send an email from HomeAssistant notifying us of something. For this demo, you obviously need a working version of HomeAssistant, and in this demo we're also going to be using Gmail. Now you can use other email accounts to send emails, but for this specific demo we're going to be setting up and using Gmail. First of all, we want to go to the HomeAssistant main page. We're then going to select integrations and we're going to do a search for SMTP. SMTP, if you didn't know, stands for Simple Mail Transfer Protocol. So that's going to open up the SMTP integration page, and from here you can read about SMTP and how to set it up. It also gives you some configuration that you can use as a basis. You can read up on all this stuff if you want, and from here we're just going to scroll down, and there's a link here for Google to set up a specific app password. So we're just going to click that. For this integration to work with Google, we have to set up an app password. So that link will take you to this page and it will give you some information about app passwords. So we're just going to click go to Google account here. Once we're here, we're then going to want to choose security in the top left here. Once you've clicked security, you want to just scroll down a little bit and you'll see a section for signing into Google, and the link we're going to want to click is the app passwords link just here. When you click app password, it's then going to just ask you to sign in, so sign in. On the particular account we're using now, we haven't got any app passwords, so let's set one up now. So for select app, we're going to just choose one and we're going to go with mail. Select device doesn't actually matter too much, but I'm just going to set it for the device I'm on now, so I'm just going to go Windows computer. We then just want to choose generate. This is then going to generate you an app password. You'll see the app password in the yellow box. You'll need to make a note of this because you won't get to see it again. You also need to be careful where you store this because it will give anyone that has that app password access to your email account. Once we've generated our app password, we're done with the Google page, and now we need to return back to the HomeAssistant integration page. Back on the SMTP integration page, we're going to just scroll down a little bit, and there's a configuration snippet that we're going to copy, and it's this one here. We're just going to hover in the corner and click copy. We're then going to jump back over to our HomeAssistant, and we're going to go to our file editor and go into our configuration.yaml file. And here we're just going to paste this snippet in. We're then just going to tweak this snippet and make it fit for our purpose. First up, we're going to name our notifier, and we're just going to name this Gmail. We then just need to edit a couple more details, so we're going to change the sender to our own email. We're also going to set the username to be the same thing. And the recipients, we're going to just take off this one here, and we're going to add ourselves as the recipient. Next up then is the password. So the password here will be that app password that we just created a second ago. So you want to just enter that in here. And once you're done with that, just click save. Now we've pasted this snippet straight into our configuration.yaml file. For the purpose of this video, we're going to just leave it like this, just to keep it nice and simple. If you want to, you can separate this into its own YAML file and use it like that. The same with the password, we've pasted it straight in here. The preferred HomeAssistant way to do it is to store that password in a secrets file. If you have no idea what a secrets file is, then don't worry, just store it like this for now. If you've been following my HomeAssistant basic videos, in an upcoming video I will be explaining that, so be sure to look out for that if you don't know what secrets are. So now we're going to go ahead and navigate to the configuration. We're then going to want to just scroll down to the server controls, and we're going to just hit check configuration. You should see that that configuration is valid if you haven't made any mistakes in your configuration.yaml. If you have made any mistakes, there should be an error message here and it will tell you what the mistake is. So just head back to your configuration file and fix that. If you're unsure, just reference the video and make sure that your spaces and indentations are all correct. If your configuration is valid, we're going to go ahead and just restart Home Assistant. And while you're waiting for that to restart, same as the other two notifications, we're going to head back to the developer tools. This time, the service, we're going to choose notify.gmail, which is the service that we just created. We're then going to give it a message and a title and click call service. Now, whichever address you put in your configuration, once you hit that call service, you should get an email with a message and title that you've entered here. And there we go, that's our third notification. Again, you should be able to easily convert this into an automation.
A few moments later.
Okay, welcome back. So we're all in the same time. Well, kind of. We're actually not, because I have no idea when you're watching this, but thank you for watching. If you have enjoyed it and you've managed to put up with the jankiness so far, then please hit that subscribe button below. I promise less janky content from now on, and hopefully from this point in the video onwards, it's all clear, better. So we've got two notification types left. We've got the Echo and Telegram. I'm going to just keep saying Echo because if I say her name, it might set off some of the stuff in your house. With the Echo notification, it's going to allow you to send a notification and the Echo will speak that notification on whichever Echo in your house you choose. To be able to make use of this notification, you're going to need to have done a few things. First of all, you're going to need the hack store installed. Now, if you haven't got that, then don't worry. I conveniently made a video, it will be linked in the top right or in the description below, that shows you how to set up the hack store. So check that out if you want to be able to carry on with this part. If not, then use the chapters below to skip ahead to the Telegram notifications. And if you're sticking around, you've already got hacks installed, so let's get that media player installed and carry on with this. We're back here on our demo dashboard. Now, it looks a little different to a few minutes ago because I've added the 5 add-ons that are included in that other video. And the add-on that we care about is hacks. So we're going to open hacks and we're going to add a new integration, which is the Alexa media player. So to do that, we go hacks, integrations, and we're going to come down to the bottom here and click add. Now, it should show up just here because it's one of the most popular ones. But if not, there is a search and you can just search for it. But we're just going to click it here and it's the Alexa media player. So we're going to click on that. Now, this integration can do a lot of stuff. We're just basically scratching the surface with it, with sending notifications for it to speak. But you can control different types of media. You can turn on and off Alexa Guard depending on your region. You can send other types of notification. You can send notifications to the mobile app. You can do full announcements. I'll definitely be revisiting this integration in the future. It is up there with my favourite ones, and there's so many things it can do. We're just scratching the surface with sending this notification. But that's for another day. Let's have a look at this notification. So we've got the Alexa media player here, and we're just going to click install repository and hacks. And we're just going to go with the latest version, which at the time of filming this is 3.8.0, and just click install. So we can see now that it's got a little red banner and it says it's pending a restart. So obviously it needs to restart before something happens. So we can go back to configuration and navigate to the server controls. Another nice quick way to get there is if we just click on hacks again, it says we're pending a restart, and if you just click on that, it will jump you straight into the configuration. You could just click configuration there, but yeah, another little shortcut. So if we click check configuration, just to ensure everything's okay, and then we're just going to go ahead and click restart. Okay, once that's restarted, we're going to just click back into configuration and we're going to click on integrations. We're then going to press add, and we should be able to now see the Alexa media player in here. So it's there. We're going to just click on that. And then we're just going to wait for it to install. Once that's finished installing, we're going to get a pop-up like this. We're then going to need to enter our credentials that we use for the Amazon Echoes. So enter your email and password for that. Also, you're going to need to set your region, the area that you're in. So I've already filled those in, and my region is UK, so I've gone with amazon.co.uk. I'm then just going to hit submit down here. It's then going to redirect us to an Amazon page where we're going to need to sign in again. So we're going to sign in, and then we're going to have to do 100 or so different captures. So let's see if we can get this on the first time. Whee! And I think that's actually the first time I've ever got a captcha on the first go. So it's asking me to enter my two-step verification password, so I'm just going to do that now. You should then hopefully see the success message, and it should show you all the different echoes that you have on your account. You can then individually sign an area for each one if you want to. I'm not going to do that, and I'm just going to go ahead and click finish. And with that finished, I can now see the media player integration, and I can see all of my different devices and the entities that belong to those devices. And just to ensure everything's working for this next step, I'm just going to go ahead and restart again. Okay, once that's back up and running, we're going to go into developer tools again, and we're going to go back into services. Once we're in here then, for the service, we're going to start typing notify, and you should see all of your different Echo devices start appearing. So I'm going to go for the downstairs Echo, and I'm going to enter some YAML here. This YAML will be available in the description below if you want to just copy and paste that. But essentially all we need is a message and the data type is TTS, which just tells the notification that it's text to speech. So whatever you put in the message here will be what the Echo says. So I'm just going to click call service now. I'm not sure if you'll hear this or not, but here we go.
Don't forget to subscribe.
So you might have heard that, you might not have, but the Echo that's behind me just said that message, and you could change this to any of your different Echo devices. So if I wanted this to play on the kitchen Echo, I could just click that there, or the bedroom Echo, and again just click that there, and that would be this message. And again, you could easily convert this into an automation and have one of your automations fire off a notification which causes your Echo device to say something. And that was a quick look at the Echo media player. Now, I will definitely be coming back to this integration because, as I said, it is one of my favourite ones, and I'll show you some cool automations that I make use of. I'll show you how to set them up and how to do some other things with that integration. Again, that will just be its own little video in the future. Telegram, what is it and what can it do? Telegram is a popular social messaging app, much like WhatsApp and some of the other big messaging apps. It's available on the majority of platforms, and the coolest thing about it is it has an open API. Another really cool Telegram feature is bots. Now, I'm not going to go into this into too much, but I'll leave a link to the Telegram page if you want to read about this. But essentially, you can create a Telegram bot, and that bot will be able to respond to commands or messages you give it. So, for example, you could have a bot that you send a message to say, turn on the light, and the bot will turn on the light, and it will say, okay, I turn that on. Now, you can do all of that with HomeAssistant, and I may do a video on this in the future because it's a really cool thing. To get started with this notification then, first of all, you're going to need to make a Telegram account. Now, this is totally free to do, and you can download the app on whatever machine you're on or your mobile. For this demo, I'm going to be using the desktop version of Telegram on a Windows machine. Links for all the Telegram stuff, it will be in the description below. If you haven't got a Telegram account, then go download the desktop app or mobile app. I would recommend you grab the desktop app because we'll be typing in a few things, so it'll just be a bit easier. So pause the video, go download that, and then come back here. Okay, you've got your Telegram account set up and the app downloaded. Let's get straight into it then. So we're here on the Telegram page, and what we're going to need to do is create a bot. So I briefly touched on this, but we're not going too deep into it. We're just going to basically follow the instructions. Alrighty then, we've got our Telegram app opened up and a set of instructions here. I'll leave a link in the description below for these instructions. These instructions are going to tell us how to create a new bot, and what we want this bot for is from HomeAssistant, we're going to create a notification, just a message like we've done with the other notification types. So we're going to pass a message to this bot, and this bot is then going to send our Telegram account a message with whatever the notification is. You can do some really cool things with bots, but we're just literally, again, scraping the surface with what you can do, and we're going to just have this just to send us a notification. Follow along and we'll have this up and running in just a couple of minutes. Okay, the first thing we're going to do then is we're going to go to the search box on Telegram and we're going to enter botfather. Now, there's a whole bunch of different ones. I think these are just user created ones, but you want to make sure the one that you tick is the botfather with the little blue tick there. That's the official one. So we're going to give that guy a little press. Once you click the botfather then, you'll see this message here, and we're going to just press start. The botfather kind of guides you through the process, but what we're going to do is just do /new bot. Okay, next up, the bot father is going to ask us for a name. So give your bot a name and then just press send. So the first name that you give it is basically the display name. So when you receive a telegram, it will come from whatever name you've given it. So if you call it Jeff, you're going to get a notification pop up, say notification from Jeff. You get the idea? And the second name then is the username. So you can't obviously use a username that's been used by somebody else. So it might take you a couple of goes to get one, but just give it a username. I like to go with the name of whatever I've called it, _bot. So let's give that a go then. And we're just going to click send there. Once you've given the bot a name, you'll get a message like this to say that you're done. And in this message, you're going to have the token, which you're going to be able to use to make the API calls. Now, this token is unique to you, and as long as you keep this secure, nobody else will be able to use your bot. There's another little link on the bottom here, which will take you to the bot API page, so you can see some of the things that you can do with the bot API. But again, we're not going to be going into what you can and can't do with bots, but just as an idea, this bot father is obviously a bot, and you've seen how we've kind of had like a human conversation almost with this bot. So he's asked us some questions and given us some parameters, and we've then used commands, so like the /new bot, and that's triggered something in the back then and done something for us. So you can imagine if you create a Home Assistant bot where it could ask you what you want to do and you give it a command and it will then control your Home Assistant. So yeah, it's pretty cool. Okay, so we've got our authorization token now from the bot father. So next up, we're going to need to speak to another bot. So on the top here, if you just do a search, and we're going to go for the get IDs bot. So from here, we're just going to click start again. And when you press start, it's going to do that /start and send that command to the bot. The bot's then going to send us a message back, and in that message, it's going to have our ID. And we're going to need this ID in order to send ourselves a message from Home Assistant. So we should now have our chat ID, which we've just got from the get IDs bot, and the authorization token, which we got from the bot father. I think that using the get IDs bot is probably the easiest way to get your chat ID, but if for whatever reason that doesn't work, you can make a web request to get that, or you can use some Python to also get that. Those details are on the Home Assistant webpage. I'll leave this also linked in the description below. Lots of links for you guys today. Okay, so our bot's all ready to go now. It's all set up from Telegram side. So we're going to come back into Home Assistant now, and you're going to need to make sure you've got your chat ID and your authorization token handy. To get things configured from Home Assistant side, we're going to need to add a bit of YAML to the configuration.yaml file. So let's do that now. So we're going to open up our file editor, and we're going to go to our configuration.yaml file. Once our configuration.yaml file is open, we're going to just paste in this bit of YAML here. This will be linked in the description below, but this YAML is going to allow us to interact with Telegram. Paste that in, and then we're going to need to edit a couple of things in order for this to work. So you're going to need to change your API key to the authorization token. This is the one that you got from the bot father. And you're also going to need to change your chat ID to, obviously, your chat ID. So this is the one that we got from the get ID bot. So enter the API key and your chat ID, and then you're going to just hit save in the top right here. You can store both the API key and the chat ID in a secrets.yaml file, but for the purpose of this video, I'm just going to have it stored here, so anyone that doesn't have that set up can just copy along with this. We're then going to restart Home Assistant, so we're going to go to Configuration, Server Controls. Just first of all, check that your configuration is valid. Make sure you get the little green configuration valid, and then hit Restart. If you get any errors, you'll need to fix those before you do the restart. While we wait for Home Assistant to reboot, we're going to head back into Telegram, and we're going to do a search for the bot that we created. So find your bot and then just press start. We then need to flip back to Home Assistant, and we're going to go into the developer tools again. So developer tools, then we go to services, and the service that we're going to look for is the Telegram service, and it's the telegram.sendMessage service. With this service, we can see some example data below. So we can see that we've got a message and a title. So if we just add in a message and a title, this is going to be what we send to our bot. So I'm just going to hide myself here. So if we now press this call service button, we should get a notification appear. And there we go, we've got a notification in the bottom right here. We could click reply here, or we could just click on it and it will open up our Telegram app, and we can see that we've got a message from MarkWattTech. And there we are, guys. That's how you send a Telegram using HomeAssistant. So you could edit that message or title to be whatever you wanted. There's a few different parameters there as well if you have a look at that example data. So have a play around. Also, if you're interested in the bot stuff, have a look at the bot API. There's so many things you can do with it. If you're pressing the call service and you're not getting any notifications come through, make sure you did the step where you clicked start on your bot. So find your bot in the list and press start. You can also check out your log file. There might be a Telegram specific error in there, and you can just amend it based on whatever the error message is. And that's 5 ways to send notifications using HomeAssistant. Hopefully the whole jankiness of this video hasn't taken away too much from the actual content. Hopefully you've been able to follow along and you now have 5 different ways to send notifications using HomeAssistant. The last 2 are a bit more tricky as there's more of a setup process in order to get them working, but they're very useful. Again, the Alexa Media Player one is one of my favourite ones, and there'll definitely be more content on these things in the future. There's so many cool things you can do with it. Yeah, I could just sit here nerding out all day talking about all the different things and all the possibilities, but I'll let you guys explore that. And as promised, for those of you that have stuck around till the end, I've got a little bonus segment of the video here. So I'm just going to show you a quick automation that's going to allow you to make use of those notifications that we've looked at. And it should be a simple building block for you to start creating your own automations and include these notifications in your automations. And you, yeah, you, I know what you did. I saw you. You clicked the chapters and you just clicked bonus on the chapters. But hey, work smarter, not harder, I guess. Anyway, so we're going to come into our automations, and here's the little automation I put together. It's a very simple automation. What this automation does is when this person, MarkWatt, enters zone home, it fires off these conditions. And what these conditions do is it uses the call service and then it calls that notification service that we use in the developer tools. So I've only got 3 of them in here. I've got the Alexa Media Player, the phone notification and the Telegram notification. But again, you can transfer these quite easily from what we did at the beginning of the video using the developer tools to this. Basically what we did in the developer tools is this call service. What's going to happen with this automation is that when this person enters the home zone, HomeAssistant's going to fire off these 3 different services. So when the person enters the home zone, we're going to get a notification announcing that Mark is home. We're also going to get a Telegram notification and also, in this case, an iOS notification. A super simple automation there, but hopefully that's showed you how you can make use of those notifications and you can build something really cool with that. Let me know in the comments below any cool notifications that you're going to make now that you can use these notifications. If you use any other notification services, also let me know in the comments below what you use and what you think of them. What's your preferred notification type? If you're not already, follow me on the other social media platforms. I've got a presence on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram, and on each of those services I release some behind the scenes things and just, general updates on what I'm doing. If you are interested, follow me on those things and stay up to date. So the other day I released this little picture here. It's kind of like a schedule that I'm going to try and stick to, and it's basically the content I'm going to create and the day that I'm going to do it. So I've been asked by quite a few people what days I release content, and this is kind of what I've come up with. This fits around me, my work life and family life. On a Wednesday, that's going to kind of be my main video day. On that day I'm going to try and get out a main HomeAssistant video, kind of like this one, but less janky. Then on Friday I'm going to try and get some kind of other smart tech or smart home related thing out. This could be a review or me showing off some kind of physical hardware or software. Now, I haven't got any of those videos out yet on my channel. My channel is basically just HomeAssistant stuff at the minute. But this is a smart home tech and HomeAssistant channel, so I need to get some of that other content going. I do have a few videos, it's just they're not put together yet, so yeah, we'll get there. That's on the Friday, and again, depending on how busy I am in the week, that depends on whether I'll actually be able to do this video or not, so that one's not a guaranteed day, but if I am able to create content for that day, that's the kind of video it will be. And then on the Sunday, I'm going to try and get out a What's What video. This is my series where I take some terminology from you guys, or, you know, some kind of information about smart home, and just try and simplify it in a short 3 or 4 minute video. And then hopefully by watching that, you'll understand it, or at least know a bit more about the particular topic. I've only got one of those videos out. If you haven't seen that already, the first video is about NFC. So if you're interested in what NFC is, there'll be a link floating around in the top right there, or again in the description below. If you've got a particular topic or terminology you'd like to see covered in What's What, then let me know in the comments below and I could pick yours. Ramble over. Thank you for watching, guys. We're now almost at 1,000 subscribers, which is amazing. Thank you for supporting me and being with me on this journey, and I'll hopefully catch you in the next one. Cheers. Now, it's very similar to other pop... Yes, we're trying to record a YouTube video.